Wondering if I should tell them what you just said.
Why? Why would you do that?
There we
Kidding.
go. Okay.
I think they'd like it. There we are.
Maybe.
And we have the DAW behind us.
Shut up.
DAW.
Danny's Peak.
Danny's Peak. Danny's Peak. It's about this kid named Danny Jones, and he decides after hearing all these great words of encouragement from his family that he's going to go to school and become a doctor, and then he graduates and gets married, and at the very end he has a baby, and that's the peak.
So what happens
like
to
the
the
peak of
baby?
his life, and nobody cares. Unless the first movie made enough money, and then the second movie, people
Well, someone
care.
should have said that. Should have told the writers of My Dog Skip about that. You know, where it gets to the top of the peak of the happiest moment, and then boom. You know, we don't have to see him going off to college and then the dog dying while he wasn't at home.
I've never seen My Dog Skip.
Oh,
It just
spoiler
sounded
alert.
boring.
Welcome to Horrible Movie Review.
Off to a great start.
Yeah.
There's lots of movies when dogs dies.
Mhm.
Dogs dies. Dogs die.
Dogs die.
Where the red spoiler alert. Where the red fern grows.
Haven't seen that.
And
Old
Pet
Yeller.
Cemetery. Yeah, that's it. Old Yeller.
That
He
was
goes-
mine.
Yeah.
Biscuit Eater. That's a woman.
Yeah. Old Yeller decides to go crazy and turn on his family because he decides that he doesn't like him anymore. Yeah, and then the fairy godmother turned him evil with the switch of her wand. That was pretty sad. Old Yeller. So since here on Horrible Movie Review we get to go off topic sometimes, I decided that I just now thought of it that I should tell you all and Julie about being in high school, and I remember 9, 10. Okay, it was 9th grade, and back then that's right when Romeo and Juliet came out,
Which one?
the Leo DiCaprio one,
Okay.
and we were studying literature at the time, and the teacher decided, I guess, instead of working hard and teaching us about the book, we were going to watch films. So we watched Of Mice and Men, which is like a old black and white movie. And if you've ever read that book, which you probably haven't, because I don't think anybody knows how to read anymore, one of the guys is kind of, I don't know the proper 2019
Slow.
terminology. I don't even know if I
He's
could say
slow.
slow.
Just say it.
Okay. And he accidentally kills someone, right? So we got to watch that. The point is, we got to watch Romeo and Juliet next after that. So we studied Of Mice and Men. Animal Farm, we couldn't really find a good movie. There was an animated movie. So we watched Romeo and Juliet. But the teacher, she had to fast forward through some of the scenes.
Which scene?
And since, well, here's the problem. The problem is I never watched the movie outside of class. It was either a sex scene or a very violent gun battle. But I remember where she'd fast forwarded it, but then, oh, I went too far. And then, and when she was fast forwarding it, we got to see everything really fast. And then she backed it up, but, oh, I didn't back it up enough. And it was just like, just let us watch it. Just get it over with. You think 16-year-old kids don't know about, guns, shooting, or cuss words, or haven't snuck into their parents' bedroom and watched a bad movie or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
You know, we it's like, be fruitful, multiply, but we're not going to teach you about sex.
Well, it had to have been gun battles because there wasn't really even a sex scene. It was just like...
Wasn't there a shootout in the movie?
There was a lot of shootouts.
Okay, that's what she would have fast forwarded through.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway,
Because their swords were their guns.
Oh, okay. I see. The
Yeah.
current day.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So in other words, that really this makes me mad when you try to cut things out, and then you wonder why everything's messed up, or you wonder why your 16-year-old comes home pregnant because, well, you didn't teach them about it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Same with TV versions of stuff. I grew up with TV versions of everything, and then you go and you actually buy the movie. It's like, oh, I love this movie, and you're like, I didn't know this scene was in here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Coming to America is a big one for me. Have you seen that?
Yeah,
Alicia?
yeah. I actually saw the
TV version's a lot different.
DVD version with Richie, and I was like, oh, I've never seen the TV version, or I've only seen the TV version. Oh, really? Tits at the beginning. I'm like, what? What?
Yeah, definitely a lot different.
So, after 5 minutes, we should tell you what we are reviewing.
A Quiet Place.
The Quiet Place.
The Quiet
No,
Place.
The Quiet Ones. Shut up.
The Quiet Ones, which is the, of course, sequel to
No.
A Quiet Place.
No, that's not. That's not. Don't listen to him.
The Quiet Ones is.
It's
Lee.
on Hulu, which we're gonna watch. It's PG-13, an hour and 38 minutes.
PG-13.
It says drama, horror.
Okay. After a comma, they didn't really need to capitalize that, but whatever.
It's a movie from 2014, and I know it has the guy from The Hunger Games in it, because I see his face.
Is that the one that the girl fell in love with?
No.
Petrie, what was his name?
Peter Malone.
PETA, yeah, that's right. Petrie was Land Before Time.
No.
So this stars PETA?
Finnick. He's Finnick Odair. He plays Finnick Odair in
I don't
The Hunger
remember
Games.
who that is.
He was the guy, like the golden boy that they didn't trust
Maybe I know who that is, yeah.
in the second one.
Okay.
And he was also in The Huntsman, the first one, Snow White and the Huntsman.
Oh, okay. I remember
was
the
the
first half
prince.
of that. I fell asleep on that one.
He was the prince. So, anyway.
And I was wide awake that day. I wasn't even tired. I guess it was just the movie that just bored me to hell.
That's okay, because I fell asleep during, what's that Marvel movie? Doctor
All of
Strange.
them.
In the
yeah.
theater.
I told her earlier she's gonna have to help me with all these Marvel movies because I haven't seen Wolverine because you miss one and then I've gotten behind. I have to figure out what I've seen so I know.
You've probably
I have to
seen
watch them in order,
the first
the
3
OCD.
X-Men movies, right?
Yes.
You've seen X-Men, X2, and then the last
the
Man.
San Francisco Bridge one, which I
Yes.
really like that one.
Those are the best 3. And now there's a prequel series that's out where they're young.
I think I just saw one of those.
Yeah, and there's now like 3 or 4.
Where it
of them out.
ended with something in the water at the end. It was like water over the ocean, over a big lake. It's a big water scene in that movie. I remember.
That's The Last Stand, I think. Or maybe that's...
No, when they were young is there was a big water scene.
Yeah.
Something like
That's when Xavier gets the bullet in his back or whatever.
Okay, so I remember that one. So that's, and I've watched all 3 Iron Mans.
So there's 1, maybe 2 more. Plus now we have the Phoenix movies coming out. Dark Phoenix is coming out this year.
I've only seen one of the Thor movies.
And there's 2
Yeah.
more of those.
Yeah, I have a lot of catching up to do.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of the new Spider-Man movies.
Oh yeah, me either. I saw the one with Garfield. Andrew Garfield?
Yeah, I saw those. The one with Andrew Garfield
I saw the one.
and Emma Stone.
Has he done more than one?
Yeah, there was 2.
Okay, I've only seen one.
Yeah, there's 2 of them, I think.
I like Toby.
Tobey Maguire's
Yep.
the Spider-Man. He's Spider-Man.
Yeah. Period.
Yeah. Love you, Toby.
So the Quiet Ones is part of the Marvel franchise somehow.
I don't know how we got onto that.
Storm was my favorite character. I thought I should throw that out there. Mystique was cool.
Mine was Wolverine, I think, just because I liked his attitude.
Kill everything.
Exactly. Kill everything, and then after that it was Jean Grey, I guess.
Was she the gloved girl?
No, that's
Jean Grey's Phoenix, right?
yes.
Okay. So that's exciting.
X-Men.
No, death.
Why do we have Dante's Peak behind us? Just because.
Because it fell off the wall in Julie's room.
Well, it didn't fall off. I never put it up.
Oh, you haven't gotten it up?
No.
yet?
No. I never will either, because that's not how it works down there.
That's true.
Yeah.
Down there in your room.
Who knows what poster we'll have next?
Yeah, who knows? It's we might have a good movie behind us.
This is a good movie.
Well, we haven't watched it yet.
No, this movie.
Oh, that one. Yeah, that's not very good, is it?
He likes it. He's just giving it.
I know. I like it. It's good. The freaking town people should have ran as soon as, the person that told them to leave.
I think we need to put this town under love. There's a hell of a lot of...
And I forget the big guy with the red hair that the water washes him away at the end. And everyone's always like, oh no, and it's sad. I was like, good. You get to get...
Was it Dan or Stan?
He's in a van. It rhymes. He's in the white van and he almost Hal?
Paul.
He almost makes it, and then the river washes him away and the trees.
Because he saved their life, because he rammed it.
He's
and
redeemed.
Shoved it, yeah.
He's redeemed.
That was his redeeming quality, is that he slammed the what was it, like a National Guard Jeep, I guess, and slammed it, and then they go vroom vroom, and they make it across. But he can't get out of the fucking van and jump over the bridge in time.
So he gets redeemed, and then that stupid old woman, Ruth. I was glad about that too. I was the only kid in the audience laughing at that.
Her redeeming quality was she got out of the boat to save everyone and just let her legs get all acid eaten. Get out of the water, Ruth. Well, she's trying.
She'd be a lot shorter. But the good news is, when she was dying, they just left her in the snow to die. Yeah. So that was good. That was nice of them.
They just covered her up in ash. Said a few things.
They're like, oh, we're going to really miss her. I'm still alive. Yep, we're going to miss her. Linda, put your hand over her face. And, they'll never know if we kill her because we'll just blame the volcano.
There you go.
I mean, the Dante's Peak. Volcano, on the other hand, didn't have a volcano. It
had lava.
It was, it should have been called lava.
Lots and lots of lava.
Or magma. Yeah, magma is under the ground. Yeah, that's right. And that was an okay movie, Volcano, which I think we should review on this movie. I think that the daughter in that movie, she looks like she's 15 or 16. She's an idiot. Mm-hmm. How did she survive that long?
She's supposed to be 13, right, I think, in the movie. Isn't she? She has a freaking teddy bear.
She has a teddy bear.
And she can't move.
Dad.
And then she can't
that's why her dad
put out
looked
a
like
fire on her leg. It burns. It's like, well, that's what fire does.
That's why her dad looked like he's 60, even though Tommy Lee Jones probably was, because he's aged horribly because putting up with the daughter,
He had a unibrow in that movie.
I think my favorite character in that movie was the assistant. That what was her name?
I know exactly what you're talking about.
And you might have had a crush on her.
No, the one who was afraid of public speaking. She was like, I can't go up there.
She was
Rachel.
Anne Heche's assistant or whatever.
Rachel.
Yeah.
Rachel.
If Rachel is watching this and this channel ever gets off the ground, I want you to know you're my favorite character.
She was obviously.
You were so memorable.
Yeah.
Because I think she falls right. Isn't there like an opening?
Yeah, she squats and
there's like an opening, I think, and she she goes right through. I don't remember if it was head first.
It was face first.
Was it face first that she went through the opening?
She had some tweezers too, so she was just getting in there. And then explosion.
Yeah, there was a big explosion and and she passed.
She fell through.
She did fall through, and we all miss her, I think. So R.I.P. R.I.P. Rachel. Would have been probably 1965 through 1994, or 5 or 6 or 8. Whenever the movie was made is probably when she died.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when you fall through like that, then you're just bound to be in trouble. It's going to be really hot, and you're probably not going to make it out alive. So I'm just telling you, be careful. That's all I'm telling you. So it was very much a surprise.
Well, not really.
It was at the park too.
We saw it coming.
You did. She definitely saw it
It was a
coming.
really big crack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was a great opening, wasn't it?
It was, yes.
Great opening
Now we're
for our
gonna
video.
We're gonna watch this movie
Great
that we
opening
didn't
for
talk
Rachel.
about at all for the past 16 minutes.
Well, we'll talk about it, I'm sure.
Oh yeah. So hopefully it won't be too much of a drama and more horror.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and hopefully, I realize it's on Hulu, but it might be good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, it is on Hulu. Yeah.
Who of the Lou?
Hulu, yeah. WHO.
Who knew it was on Hulu?
Well, you know, they're bound to put something accidentally good on there. So,
Really?
right now it just says Dante's right by her head. Look at that. Dante's peas. Peas are high in
There you
sugar. Very high
There
in
you go.
sugar. So if you're diabetic,
There you
don't eat them.
Dante's
See, I would
pea.
rather watch that movie about like a giant vegetable that kills all of
The
them.
explosion.
That'd be great.
That's
Like
the pea in the background, and the inside is the anger. That's its eye.
I definitely want to see a movie with what's his name losing his head.
Pierce Brosnan.
Yeah, that's it.
I thought that was gonna be Mamma Mia, but that didn't happen that way.
Another movie I haven't seen, or the second one.
You're not. The second one I thought was pretty good. The first one I was just like.
Wasn't What's Left of Cher in that?
Cher, yes, Cher is in there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She has a cane, but I think it's supposed to be more for props or whatever, but
Maybe.
yeah, she didn't really dance much. She just kind of swayed.
Well, they take her to set, and then you have to inflate her, and then you have to hurry and film before she deflates. You know, like an air mattress, how you have to blow on or a balloon. It's
Yeah,
right
balloons.
up inside of her ass crack. It kind of looks like a hemorrhoid.
Make sure she's not in the sun for very long.
That's
Like
right.
a balloon, because
Mhm.
it'll like fade and get discolored.
Absolutely. 70% silicone. Very dangerous. So watch out if she's on your set. Time change, share with your friends.
Yep.
So I'm hopeful that this is good, because I need to watch something good. I need to watch something
Mhm.
that's not starring Pierce Brosnan.
Well, this doesn't have Pierce Brosnan.
GoldenEye, that was good. I played that game too much growing up.
I haven't seen any of the other. I've only seen the Sean Connery Bonds.
Oh yeah, and we've talked for years about watching Bond movies. Maybe we should review a Bond movie.
I have all of them, except for like maybe the newest one and like an old one in between, like in the 80s. That this one guy only did like 2 movies. I only have one maybe.
Okay. Yeah, I mean I could name off some of the Bond actors.
But I have all of the other ones. Of Roger Moore.
Yeah, he's my favorite, Roger Moore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, View to a Kill, that's my favorite one. And I want to watch that with you. And Moonraker.
I did watch I don't know what the beginning of the first one was, the first Bond movie, but I like started watching.
No.
No, not the first, the one with Roger Moore.
Oh.
It was like a car chase, and
Was
then it was
it,
at an airport. When we got to the airport, I was just like, and he showed up, and he's like, and
Of
I'm
course.
like, eh.
I think he's like the Bond that stayed in the longest and was the oldest.
Mm-hmm.
Because as like the last couple Bond movies he did, he unfortunately for Hollywood he aged out, and but they kept him, for a while.
Cool.
But yeah, he's definitely my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so hopefully we'll have nice things to say about this movie.
Probably not.
Probably not. We should probably be watching A View to a Kill. Classics are classics for a reason. And
We'll see what happens.
yeah, so The Quiet Ones. Here we go,
Mm-hmm.
I guess.
We fade out.
Fade out. I'm being licked to death. I was.
Aww. Puppies. Well, I mean, it was interesting. It's one of those movies that you watch to pass the time, but you probably shouldn't watch at 1 a.m. because then you take a break and you're afraid to go pee in a dark room.
Well, don't pee in a dark room. Pee in a bathroom.
Oh, I guess that'll work. I mean, you know, okay, the acting was good, cinematography was good. It was kind of scary to see all the real photos at the end. This was based on a true story. We have a dog in the background.
Yeah. The photos were freaky.
But other than that, would I watch it again?
I probably wouldn't.
No.
Once you watch it once, I mean, some movies you watch it once and you get the idea and you're like, oh, okay, I've seen it now.
Yeah. You know, it would be interesting to know what was real for real and what wasn't for real.
Yeah, and the true story. So we need to definitely read about the true story
when we don't have to go to bed.
So,
I mean, overall, nothing really huge stood out, except you really laughed at that one line.
Oh, are you gonna
You
screw the truth out of her?
Yeah. She's like, yes,
Like-
this is getting good.
Yeah.
All the
like that
lines.
line. It's so true. It's just, I don't know where to start. There was quite a bit of stuff I didn't realize. Like, how'd she get there? How long has she been there? How did they capture her? There's a lot of, or whatever. There was pieces that I didn't quite understand.
Yeah.
How the fire started at the cult place. I guess we don't have to know that.
He set the fire, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, we're at our second part now, so this is all spoiler alert. But
yeah,
the demon flying at the end looked, I don't know, it was scary for a split second, I'm sure. But if you pause it, it didn't look that well done. And I really don't like it when movies end with the fire, roar, like when they make that roar. I mean, I saw. This is a really obscure movie. It's called Ghost in the Machine. It was like from '97 or '98. It was about I think the man was put on death row, and he gets electrocuted and killed, or somehow he dies, or he's a serial killer, or whatever. He gets trapped inside the electrical lines, so he starts using the connectivity of computers and pagers to kill people, and the CGI of that character from back in the mid to late 90s was just about as good as that 2014 film.
Wow.
So I wasn't too impressed with the creature at the very end.
Oh, yeah.
Because we didn't get to really see the creature.
So in a nutshell, this professor is doing this experiment. He already has 2 people. He gets this videographer on board who's not really religious. He wants to figure out what he believes on his own, and he wants to cure this girl Jane, his test subject, from mental illness. And he thinks that all paranormal activity surrounding exorcisms and all this other fun stuff is from psychic energy from oneself, which has been proven that, you know, that they do find out that some people do emit psychic energy with stuff. But anyway, he thinks that will be the cure to this girl's illness. So they end up along the line. They end up staying at this house in the countryside, and it's at 1974. And one thing leads to another. Scary stuff happens. Blah blah blah. And then the videographer falls in love with the test subject Jane. And it just spirals out of control. I think every scary movie you've ever seen. Leading up to the exaltation, he does his research and finds out that the symbol that was burned onto her earlier was from a cult from the 50s that ended up being where she was from. This is like the total spoiler.
Yeah, maybe the demon would have possessed the little girl. The cult brought the demon in and got into the little girl, and she set the fire and killed them all, and the demon walked out in the girl's body.
Because she was the only survivor.
Because she was the only survivor. Because she was possessed and she did the fire.
Maybe.
Also, everybody I think was having sex with everybody almost. I would like to know.
The blonde was having sex with the two guys, which I don't see why she would have sex with the professor.
I'd like to know how the blonde guy figured out that his girlfriend was having sex with the professor.
She's been distant, and
Because
she's
he's like,
totally
"Are you
upset.
screwing them both?"
Totally upset with the fact that he's focused on his test subject and he's not paying attention to her. So, anybody could see that.
Yeah. So cool sets, cool costume design.
The effects were good up until the very last one.
Yeah. I liked how the blonde got pulled out of the window and then, or pulled out of the doorway, or pulled up and she got lifted up and thrown.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, it's gonna be obvious her face is gonna be cut, and then her face was all cut up because she was pretty, so she can't die pretty. And then I wasn't quite sure what happened to her boyfriend, the blonde guy, if he broke his arm, or I couldn't really see what happened with that.
No, he got yanked through the middle of the door, because there's the hole in the door, and he just got hit so hard he broke his neck.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And was that an old hospital or an old house?
I think it was a house.
And how did they get access to the house? Was the
It
house
was
abandoned?
it said to let the
Oh, okay. All right.
the sign that was off the thing.
That must be a very expensive place to rent.
Apparently professors have a lot of money.
Yeah, I guess so.
But 1974, I mean, it probably wasn't that much.
The other thing is, why change the song that you torture people with? Like in the 50s, it had a 50s rock song, and then in the 70s, it had a 70s rock song. It's a really big deal what song you torture people with. Or is it, oh, I don't want to hear that song anymore because it was my kid's song.
Rock and roll was the devil's music.
Yeah, that's true.
Um,
Well, what do you think of the rating on this? See, that's what sucks. I want to find good movies, and I don't want to waste 2 hours every time to try.
I mean, it was...
Netflix and Hulu have that issue.
It kind of dragged story-wise. I would give it... I'm wrestling between a 4.5 and a 5. Like, because, I mean, it was still somewhat good, and, I mean, the jumps were good, and it was kind of scary. There was a creepy doll in there.
I just don't think every horror movie has to have a creepy doll. It's like, I know Joey doesn't like dolls at all. And the reason, I mean, I'm not scared of dolls, and I think it's because I'm so used to them. I just think that they're overdone.
That's true, yeah.
I think if it was in a horror film or like in real life, I'm like, oh, it's a doll. I'm just like, I've just seen too many dolls.
Right. I feel like that this movie relied solely on the scare tactics for the audience, like the
That's what a lot of
jump out
movies
at
do.
you
Blair Witch.
type thing, and not really on the story. Even though I know it was based on true events, and I guess I have to Google and look up and research the true events and everything to see what happened and see if they followed it. Then it would be, I guess, a little bit more interesting. But I mean, it was like a typical horror movie,
Yeah.
which is why it's kind of in between for me. It's just like, well, it was somewhat entertaining, but
It wasn't necessarily done badly.
it wasn't
just
bad. It was just another.
basic.
Yeah, there you go.
And I don't think it'll be remembered in like, you know, when you hold it up to other horror classics, because although it was good and the acting was great, the actors are really good, but it's just kind of okay. It's just
It's like,
kinda,
okay,
I
what's
was
next?
like, okay.
What's next?
Years from now, if someone were to say, "Have you seen that movie?" I'll be like, what was it about? Maybe I've seen it.
I'll remember and be like, oh yeah, it's about the videographer fell in love with that.
Well, yeah, if they say it like that, but if they're like, "There's a creepy doll in it, and a CGI monster, and a slutty blonde girl."
So the videographer went crazy at the end, and he was
I
possessed?
think he was possessed, yeah. And he was being interviewed by the new set of people that he's probably gonna kill.
So who was the demon? Their idol? They never explained it. It just because it was from a cult.
Right, yeah, they didn't explain it. I was kind of hoping at the end, because I couldn't tell, because of the numbers down at the bottom of the screen when they started interviewing the cameraman, since it was from so far away, and he was beat up and,
Yeah, I wondered
and all
if
that.
it was-
I was kind of hoping it was current day.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, and they were using current video technology
Right.
to
But,
talk to him.
but no, it wasn't.
Thought that would have been me, maybe.
Yeah.
Nope, can't do
Nope.
that. Well, like him as like an old man talking about it or something like that. I don't know. That might have made it a little bit more interesting. But
So I
4.5
guess
or
five.
5 and
5, I guess.
okay. Yeah, I'm between a 4 and a 5. I want to say even lower than that, but I'll be okay with a 5.
Yeah.
I'll be okay to grade this movie an F.
Five. Yeah.
Doing this movie review channel, we're gonna make so many directors be
It's
mad
not-
that
yeah.
we're never gonna get a job ever.
It's not amazingly bad that it's gonna get a 2, but it's not fantastically amazing that it's gonna get a 7 or an 8. It's just gonna get a 5.
Yeah.
In the words of amazing, wonderful Kristen Bell, yeah, basic.
Basic.
I like how she says that. Yeah,
I've not
basic.
seen that movie. Which one was that? What movie is
Oh, she just says it a lot in The Good Place, the TV show.
that? So it all burned down.
Mm-hmm. Literally.
Gilbert Grape style.
She burned up.
Yeah, I guess she did.
Hotter than a felt couch.
Made of straw.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay.
I think that about does it.
Yeah, I think that about does it for all those actors' careers and
We're like,
the
yeah!
director.
And then now we're just like, nah.
I know, because we wanted it to be good. That should be the
Mhm.
review on the movie cover. That's what it should say at the bottom.
We wanted it to be good. We had high
Hopes.
hopes.
I was just thinking that. That wanted to admire that we had high hopes. Yeah. Well, maybe next time we'll watch. No, we won't watch something good. No.
Who knows what we'll watch next?
We like to think we know, but we don't.
Mm-hmm. No. Okay, guys.
Okay,
Thanks
well,
for watching.
Hope you liked it,
Mm-hmm.
and
So-
hope our review was better than the movie. I
Always.
think that's pretty easy, actually. In this
Yeah.
case, that's pretty easy.
Always. I mean, with this, it's like follows the formula. We follow no formula whatsoever.
That's right. We're outside of the box,
Mm-hmm.
unlike Rachel, who is always inside of the box.
Yeah, with the box, and it's on fire now.
Yeah, totally flaming.
Yeah, Rachel fell into that box.
She did. She was very much in the box, and she liked it in there.
And then decided never to come out again.
Mm-hmm. Oh, for her.
Mm-hmm.
R.I.P. Rachel. R.I.P.
R.I.P.